UN Women supports South Sudan in setting standards for achieving gender equality. We work with the South Sudanese government and civil society to design laws, policies, programs, and services needed to ensure that the standards are effectively implemented and truly benefit women and girls in the world's youngest nation. Women in South Sudan, especially the poorest and most excluded, are economically empowered and benefit from development.
Pues wachitele nangopyo UN woman achopyo kepun boare gurube ukukalo kadaka we kuteka tatata
utatamana miagdia hanga watadu kamiduna gibagya hala wala waidu kami mangi pai ni henga bagibagi hala wagidule me wala kami anas kami mangi herga announcement watadu kayamba customer kami frana customer pachi ingbe bale ni pipe pachi ondale mingbe kura bale kabagu sido ana mang training mikinza ka gbe amana be UN women mikinza ka nakabaga yege mikitna ka ngbe yege ka baga.
I see the impact because we have been talking for many years about the women economic empowerment. And I could see now when those projects came, the women are now in the market and they are doing business, and some of the women are the breadwinners for their families.
Simonde robadunga payo pabaga he na pa ino mana zat kaza da mana ni bakale simonde rogoyo na kabondoro sido mi magbe ino ha wala arogo gipale mi mawri kabadunga pachki undele rogene nga minengme ka tumagude ku school yo na minengme ka ngbe weneni ha wala gude kiri he na saboni na he wadawa.
In South Sudan, UN Women also launched the Local Solutions to Build Climate Resilience and Advance Peace and Stability project, with the aim to address the following 4 key conflict factors, including political competition and ethnic division, local governance and access to services and resources, age and gender-based discrimination, and climate change as a risk multiplier.
South Sudan has been going through a lot of conflict. And after that, we have these floods and very diverse climate impact on our livelihood, on the livelihood of people.
The flood affected people in these regions. People move with their cattle, then the cattle will eat crops, and this will be the source of the problem. It will fuel fightings.
In the ID camps where I live, sometimes I witness some fightings in the boreholes. I used to fight myself, and when I attend the training, I've learned that it is not really good to fight, so you can solve the problem by dialogue.
We have actually learned and got the knowledge how we can even, if there is a dispute, how are you going to approach the two communities so that they will come back together, especially targeting the youth.
We have community dialogue where there are trainings on the issues affecting people and how the risk can be mitigated. For example, when there is a flood, then the community will do a local dike.
We plant trees in the ID camp because trees provide us with the fruits which we can eat, and then shades that we can sit under.
There are a lot of impacts that we see from the UN Women project focusing on resilience and climate change.
In my community, I've seen a big change because when I notice that there's a fight in somewhere in the community, I also see people sitting down and then they talk and solve it in that way without fighting.
UN Women supports the government and other partners to respond effectively to gender-based violence and to review, adopt, and implement laws, policies, and strategies to prevent and respond to violence against women. We also support the establishment of multi-purpose women's centres so that women and girls have increased access to prevention and response services addressing violence against women. Sarah was trained in the Women's Centre to make bed sheets and to produce liquid soap. She sells the products on the local market and earns money with this.
During the training of UN Women on GDB, I learned many things, how to deal with the cases, how to create awareness, how to bring people together to listen to whatever you are saying. When I talk to other men, they listen to me because it is their collective responsibility as men to make some changes in the communities.
Through the gender mainstreaming and security sector reform, UN Women assist the South Sudanese government and other partners with the establishment of an accountable, representative, inclusive and effective South Sudan security sector that ensures the meaningful participation of women at all levels of the security institutions and prioritizes the protection and human rights of civilians.
There's so much that is happening with the support of the UN. For example, we have organized a network of women in the uniform. It is already changing, mobilizing and advocating on behalf of the women in the organized forces and encouraging other women to join the organized forces. So this is a very big impact.
So currently, South Sudan is working with UN Women and other stakeholders on implementing the South Sudan National Action Plan, which is basically geared towards gender inclusivity and gender reform. So the first thing that the action plan tackles is the issue of trainings in education and skill building. The second thing that the action plan also tackles is the issue of underrepresentation of women in the security sector. So the action plan is actually looking into the laws, the legal frameworks and the policies alongside with other stakeholders.
مهمة شبكة للقوات النظامية العام هو بشجع جميع القوات النظامية المع مشتركين في الشبكة والقوات النظامية اللي كانوا نايمين وبيحركهم عشان يقوم بيشتغل يحركهم عشان يقوم يقرأ. في واحدين ما بقرأ ممكن الشبكة بخليهم يقرأ وممكن بدخلهم في كورسات عشان يتعلموا عشان يستفيد من الشبكة النساء.
The trainings enhance overall the capacity of the women in the security sector. So when we talk about the trainings in the areas of psychosocial support, you will find that the women in the security sector are more equipped in handling rape victims. So that aspects of training, it enables that level of comfortability for the rape victims to come and present their cases and in turn acquire some sort of justice. I can see a bright future in the police force if the National Action Plan is actually implemented and policies and regulations and frameworks are put in place.
UN Women also works to increase South Sudanese women's participation in leadership and governance and supports various avenues for women's voices to be heard. We provide training for women political candidates and elected leaders to build their capacities and offer civic education and gender equality awareness raising campaigns.
بالنسبة لي أنا شايفه مهم ده مهم شديد وبكلاني ذاته نكون فرحان إنه شجعوني عشان أنا أشتغل معنا سوا. إذا قيادة بتاعي ده أنا بكيد بيعرف بنمسكه كيف أنا بيعرف نقود الناس الماي ده كيف أنا علمته معنا.
التدريب كان بيتكلم إن المرأة لازم تعرف الحقوق بتاعها. ما زي ما نحن قلنا لو ده ما قراية حاجات في ناس بيعملوا حاجات بيدينهم ممكن يعملوا زراعة عشان شنو يكون إنه متمكنة في المجتمع بتاعها.
The women learned due to training that they have right to participate in political participation since they are citizens of South Sudan.
So UN Women supporting a lot of our activities. The first one was to take women parliamentarian to Kenya and to Rwanda, and which was very successful. UN Women have established gender desk in the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. So there is a strong cooperation between the government and the UN Women.
The improvement that I've seen in Bibor here due to this project, that women start to come together and they have interest to participate in political participation.
حاجة اللي أنا شفته إنه يعني بيعملوا توعية للناس أكتر ما كان في الفترة اللي فاتت. بيعملوا توعية والنسوان هسي بيقولوا يعني إحنا حق بتاعنا ولازم يكون كده، حق بتاعنا يكون كده. ده الحاجة اللي وروا للناس، لكن ده في حدود بتاع الكلام ده.
UN Women will continue her support to make the vision of the Sustainable Development Goals also a reality for women and girls in South Sudan, whereby we stand behind women's equal participation in all aspects of life.